So I'm about to make another one of these two-step shaker inspired step stools, and I've made a couple of videos about this in the past. I mean, 6 years ago, but still, it basically covered all there is to do about building it. So I don't think I'm going to make any sort of a YouTube video because I'm just... One sec, future art jumping in here. So this build video is a little bit different. First of all, as you can see, all this footage is shot in a vertical format. That's because this was all intended for Instagram, where I also like to share my woodworking. And because of that, it's not a polished step-by-step build video. Rather, on Instagram, I tend to shoot a series of short progress reports that, showing and talking about what I've done. But still, after I was done building this, I thought it was worth putting together into a full video to be preserved on YouTube, because everything is much more ephemeral on Instagram. So, you can't find this build video on Instagram now, it's gone. But also, because this wood is so gorgeous, I really wanted to have this stick around. So, if you want to see a detailed step-by-step build video, let me recommend this build video from a few years ago where I build a virtually identical piece. And other than that, on with the build. So anyways, this is maple, this is Jatoba, and I'm going to make it with maple and walnut. So I start digging through my stash, and I pull out my one remaining walnut board, and I get some maple out, and I discover this monster. Hang on while I grab my tape. This is like 12 1/4, almost 12 1/2 inches wide piece of maple. And my step stool is just a hair under 12 inches, so I'm actually not going to have to laminate any wood together. I'm going to be just run that through the planer. And oh yeah, I found this piece is wide enough for this cross piece. So I came down planning to do some laminating tonight, but I think I'm going to jump straight to planing. Okay, I've been planing, and I'm coming to a stopping part. I did skip planing, so one side, the other side, and these boards were flat enough that that worked out. Otherwise, you'll see it back there. I do have one of those planer sleds that I could use for planing wider boards that are not flat. But I stopped just about at the 1 inch in thickness point. This walnut, I don't even know if I'm going to hit these or not, but there's a few spots where I want to put some epoxy in, and I'll let that cure overnight, and then I'll continue the planing on this. Now, as for the maple, this maple was like opening up a present at Christmas. I don't even know if I can catch it, but this is the piece for the cross piece, and it's got this beautiful ripple all the way through it. It's almost a shame that I will be cutting a big arch in it, but these front two pieces are also going to be out of that. This other board, you can see it's kind of got a more pinkish tone. This is a more whitish tone, so I'm guessing these are from two different trees. The downside of this is the one side is like that, but that's going to get probably positioned on the inside. But here, again, I just hit pay dirt with some beautiful grain on this. And I'm really wondering what that's going to look like when I get some finish on it. Really gorgeous piece of maple. But again, I skipped planing these down to about 1 inch, and I'm going to let them rest overnight. So the next day, and the epoxy that I put on is hardened up. Now there's still some rough spots there also, and here also. So this is going back to the planer. And after some planing, that's where the epoxy was. Looks kind of neat now. This part didn't work so well. Looks like did not get any epoxy in there, but I've been doing some measuring, and I think I need two treads. And I think I'll get one from this side, stopping short. And I think I'll get the other one from this side, again, stopping short. I could use this side of the board also, but I kind of think that looks interesting. We'll see. We'll see. Now I got to do more planing on the maple to bring it down to between 3/4 and 7/8 of an inch in thickness. So it's much later and everything has been cut to size. Got the top tread and the lower tread, and I had just a little bit more epoxy that I've added. This is 5-minute epoxy, but I still tinted it black. So this, hopefully I can work it later this afternoon. And I got the two sides, and I got the two cross pieces and the back cross piece. So 1, 2, we'll go here and here. And then this one is going to go here. And here's the two sides, and this is, I've marked them for the inside, so this is going to be the right side and the left side and the right side. So this will be on the outside face of the stool. And yes, I'm putting tape and notes all over so that I don't make mistakes later. Even these little ones, I've decided, okay, I want this grain kind of goes together, so I want to make sure this is both on the same side as you're looking at it. And I've picked what grain I want to have on the outside here. Same with the treads. I want this to be towards the left, so it kind of will balance off the knot. So on the top tread, you'll have some knots on the right, and on the lower tread, you'll have a knot on the left. Yeah, coming along. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out this elliptical arch. And to do that, I have a 1-to-1 printout in my plan package. And I just glued it to it. And I'm going to cut it out close to the line on the bandsaw, and then over on the spindle sander, I'll finesse it. It's far, far away, but this is the spindle sander I'm talking about. Comes off the bandsaw with a bit of a rough marks, but the spindle sander nicely takes that off. And of course, this is going to face the ground, so I can now peel this off and keep going. ASMR. So I just spent a lot of quality time with my big bandsaw. I use that mostly for cutting straight cuts. And I took these side pieces and notched it all for everything, so it's going to look like that, except this. This was on the smaller bandsaw, so over. I can't do this one-handed, but you get the idea. And a little bit more sanding, and here is my first dry fit. There's no glue yet. I sanded the outside and I sanded the inside, and I see just knocked the clamp loose. But anyways, so just putting it all together to look like that. And I'm going to start with, I think I'll put some glue with these two, and I'll leave this one clamped dry to help just hold things. And I'll get the top part glued, and when that's all nicely set, then I will get the second cross piece glued, and then we will, once the glue is dried, then I'll look into pinning it with some dowels. And here it is, all glued up, or at least the bottom frame is. After these boards glue had dried, I drilled holes here, and I put in contrasting wood dowels, sort of something like this. You would drill a hole, and then it would get glued in and then cut flush. This is a red heart, or it was labeled Chac to Coke. And yeah, I like putting in contrasting wood dowels. So a little bit of sanding, and then I can move on to getting these walnut treads installed. Coming along really nice. I've got the lower tread glued into place, and these are some little boards to help me guide positioning the top tread. Always label your work in an inconspicuous place. That's going to be almost invisible. And got a little tiny nail right there, and another one right here where I clipped off the top. So there's just a little barb pointing up, and that'll help me with, when I clamp this in place, it'll keep it from sliding around from the slickness of the glue. So one more gluing operation. And here it is the next day. Well, yesterday evening I glued on the two treads, and I just took the clamps off. Just for comparison, here's the 20-year-old one. And I'm going to hit it now with some 220. I'd sanded most of it to 150 grit already, so I'm going to sand it now 220 and then go over it with some Danish oil. I think it has turned out really well. And yeah, when you're not stopping to film everything for YouTube, things go a lot quicker, because I started this Friday night and it was basically complete by Saturday night. And here we go. Got the Danish oil applied. So you flood it on, wait half an hour, add more, wait another 15 minutes, then wipe off the excess. And that's where we are now. And yeah, look at the grain on the maple. Look at that. And walnut has gone a very rich, dark reddish brown. Get on the outside here. Now, yeah, this the maple was dark on the inside, so you sort of have this line here, which I'm getting used to it. I wasn't so sure I would like it at first, but I think it's got an interesting character. And again, this maple here has got this quilting sort of shimmery green. Right there, you can see it. It's hard to get it on camera. And here again. So I'll let that cure overnight, and then we'll see. I might do some wax, or they talked about putting something else over top of it if you need to. That's in the instructions, but we'll see. We'll see. This one had a similar finish applied back in the spring when I redid it. So. And here's the finished piece. I think it turned out absolutely stunning. I'm just loving the grain and the figure and how it all works together.